Every World Cup produces a player who makes it feel personal. One person who carries a nation on their back and makes you believe the whole tournament was written for them. 2018 had Mbappe at 19. 2022 had Messi finally getting his moment. 2026 has 5 players who all have a genuine claim to being that person. And the argument between them is one of the best football debates you'll have this summer. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1. Kylian Mbappe, France. Let's start with the most statistically inevitable case. Mbappe goes into this tournament with 12 career World Cup goals from just 2 tournaments. He scored 4 in 2018, including 1 in the final when France won it. He scored 8 in 2022, including a hat-trick in the final, the first hat-trick in a World Cup final since Jeff Hurst in 1966, and still ended up on the losing side because Argentina were simply extraordinary that night. Here is the number that matters most. He needs just 5 more goals to overtake Miroslav Klose's all-time World Cup scoring record of 16. He is 27 years old. This is his prime. He is the captain of France, one of the deepest squads at this tournament, and he has already proved twice that the biggest stage makes him better, not worse. Most players shrink in World Cup finals. Mbappe scored 3 goals in 1. The only question mark around him coming in is that Real Madrid's season had its difficult patches, but the historical pattern is clear. Mbappe at World Cups operates at a different level than everything else in his career. If France go deep, and they have the squad to do it, he will be the reason. Number 2, Erling Haaland, Norway. This one is different from every other name on this list, because Haaland arrives at his first ever World Cup, first ever major international tournament of any kind, with 55 international goals in 50 caps. That is one of the most freakish ratios in football history for a player of his age. And during UEFA qualifying for this tournament, he scored 16 goals in 8 games. 16. The next highest scorer in European qualifying had 8. Norway haven't been at a World Cup since 1998. Haaland wasn't even born yet, and they're here because of him. The tactical problem he creates hasn't changed from what it is at Manchester City. If the pass is right, there is no foot race. He attacks the 6-yard box like it owes him something. He runs channels with the timing of a sprinter and the physicality of a center back. The one genuine unknown is whether he can do it in the intensity of a knockout tournament, because he has never experienced that kind of football before at international level. But you look at those numbers and that physical profile, and you think, what does inexperience actually do to a player like this? The answer is probably nothing. Number 3, Lamine Yamal, Spain, 18 years old. Let that sit for a moment. Lamine Yamal is 18 years old and is the second-ranked player at this entire tournament, according to ESPN's pre-tournament list. He is Spain's most important creative force, the player every opponent game plan starts with, and the teenager who scored one of the great goals of Euro 2024 against France in the semifinal before Spain went on to win the whole thing. All 7 games, the first team in the history of any major international tournament to do that. Yamal played every minute. There is a hamstring injury concern coming into this tournament from the back end of the club season. The Spanish camp has been careful about managing his return to full fitness. But the read from inside the squad is that he will be fully available by the time the knockout rounds arrive. And that is the point. Spain are the tournament favorites. They have depth everywhere. They don't need Yamal at 100% in the group stage. They need him at 100% when it matters. If he gets there, and the signs are he will, watching an 18-year-old carry the favorites through a World Cup knockout run would be one of the most extraordinary storylines in the history of this competition. Number 4, Vinicius Jr., Brazil. Vinicius goes into this tournament reunited with Carlo Ancelotti at international level, the same manager who got the best out of him at Real Madrid across 2 spells. And the timing of that reunion matters, because the criticism of Vinicius at international level has always been the same one. The connection that makes him almost unplayable at club level has never fully transferred to the national team environment. The numbers back that up to a point, just 9 goals in 49 international appearances coming into the tournament. But the context around him right now is different. Brazil's squad coming in has injury problems. Militão, Rodrigo, and Esteban all missing or limited. That means more responsibility falling on Vinicius, not less. And here's the thing about players who carry that kind of burden when the tournament actually starts. Sometimes it's exactly what they needed. Ancelotti knows how to build an attack around him. The Real Madrid blueprint was give him wide space. Let him run at defenders in 1v1 situations and trust that the chaos he creates will produce goals and assists. Vinicius in a deep tournament run could be something genuinely historic. Number 5. Jude Bellingham, England. The case for Bellingham is one of team context more than pure individual stats. England have Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice. They have legitimate quality across the pitch. But Bellingham is the player former Dutch great Ruud Gullit described as the best player Real Madrid have. And Real Madrid in the 2025-26 season had Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. in that same squad. That is the level of the reputation he has built. At 22 years old, Bellingham plays with a maturity and a tactical intelligence that doesn't fit his age at all. He understands space differently from most players in his position. He arrives late into goal-scoring positions with timing that looks almost coached but isn't. It's instinct. He presses, he creates, he scores, and he leads. And in a knockout tournament, when the margins get thin and one player needs to take a game by the scruff of the neck, Bellingham is the profile you want. So there it is. 5 players. 5 completely different stories. One of them gets that final whistle moment at MetLife Stadium on July 19th. And between now and then, every match they play is a chapter in that story. Now tell me, which one do you think actually does it? Drop your pick in the comments. I'm reading all of them. Hit like and subscribe for more World Cup breakdowns every week. And click one of the videos on screen right now. See you very soon.